Hello students, welcome to Electrostats chapter number 1, lecture 4. This lecture consists of the two main topics, in which one of the topic is the drawback of quantization of charge and second topic is Coulomb's law. So let's start our lecture with the drawback of quantization of charge. Let's read what is written over here. At the macroscopic level, level is one of the domains which we have studied in class 11, that physics works on two domains. One is microscopic domain and another is macroscopic domain. Macroscopic level, at macroscopic level we study the phenomena in bulk, and microscopic at minute scale. Okay, so what is this drawback? Let's read it out first, then I'll elaborate it. At the macroscopic level, one deals with charges that are enormous compared to the magnitude of charge E. E is the basic unit of charge, which we have already studied in previous lecture. The value of E is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. I have already told you in my last videos. A charge of magnitude, say 1 microcoulomb. If a charge is having magnitude 1 microcoulomb, it means what? It means it contains something like 10 to the power 13 times the electronic charge. What is the electronic charge? 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb, and 1 microcoulomb is equal to 10 to the power minus 6 coulomb. Alright, so 10 to the power 13 when will be multiplied in this one, so definitely we get this order of charge 1 microcoulomb. So it means we are dealing at large scale, we are dealing at bulk scale. Okay, so now what happens in this one? At this scale, the fact that charge can increase or decrease only in units of E is not very different from saying that charge can take continuous values. Okay, it means if we are dealing with this large number of charge, definitely charge will not be discrete, it will not have the grainy nature. Okay, it will not exist in the discrete manner. It will exist in which manner? Continuous manner, because the large number of charge is there. Okay, that is written over here, 10 to the power 13 times. Thus, at microscopic level, the quantization of charge has no practical consequence and can be ignored. It means at macroscopic level, the quantization of charge will be ignored because large number of charges there. So that's why we cannot talk about the discrete value of charges. We will talk about the continuous value. So this should be ignored, or this can be ignored. At which level? Macroscopic level. And this is the limitation of quantization of charge. It means quantization of charge is only valid at microscopic level. It is not valid at microscopic level. Clear? Again, it is written that at the microscopic level, where the charges involved are of the order of a few tens or hundreds of E, that is, they can be counted. It means if they are in the order of tens, order of hundreds, it means they are countable, and then we can deal at discrete rise of charge. It means they appear in discrete lumps, and quantization of charge cannot be ignored. It means at this level we can consider the quantization of charge. At which level? Remember, microscopic level. And where we can ignore the quantization of charge? At macroscopic level. So overall, I can say in this note we have studied about the drawback of quantization of charge, and finally we can conclude that quantization of charge is only possible at microscopic level, not at macroscopic level. Hopefully it's clear to you. Now, as I told in the beginning of this video, that our next topic that we are going to study is Coulomb's law. Okay, so let's start that. Now, Coulomb's law. It's this Coulomb's law is a very important law of electrostats. Okay, and so many derivations, so many questions belong to this particular law that is called Coulomb's law. Let's see what it is. Coulomb's law gives an idea about the force between two charges. Remember, okay? Coulomb's law gives the idea, basically it gives the idea between the force, about the force between two point charges. Point charge is what? Point charge means if the two charge system in which the dimension of charge is very small as compared to the distance between them. Okay, that is written also by the word point charge. We mean that in physics, the size of linear charged body is very small as against the distance between them. Okay, it means the dimension of charge body, okay, linear charge means charge body is very small as compared to the distance between the charges. Then these charges are said to be which kind of charge? Point charges. Okay, therefore we consider them as point charges, as it becomes easy for us to calculate the force of attraction repulsion between them. It means we can calculate the force of attraction, force of repulsion between the 2 point charges or also multiple charge system with the help of Coulomb's law. Okay, so let's see what is the law or what the law is all about. Suppose we are having the two charge system Q1 and Q2. Okay, the distance between these two charges is R. So what is the law? The law says that the force, electrostatic force of interaction between two charges is expressed as constant K Q1 Q2 divided by R square. Okay, this is the overall expression for the force, but basically the law says what? The force of interaction between 2 point charges is directly proportional to the product of magnitude of the charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the two charges. Okay, suppose these charges are charge bodies. Suppose they are spherical charge bodies. So this distance R is the distance between the center of these two spheres, between the centers of these two charge bodies. Okay, and this force always acts along the line joining the center of these two charges. Remember, this force always acts along the line joining the center of these two charge bodies. Okay, what is the meaning of this? This is the meaning of this statement is what? The force which is acting between the two charges, force of interaction I am calling out because the force can be attraction, the force can be repulsion. It can be any of these two forces. It can be repulsive force, it can be attractive force. But remember, the force of attraction or repulsion, that is also in short called as force of interaction, is directly proportional to the product of magnitude and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the two charges. Okay, so if we join these two facts together, we obtain like this. That is what? Force is directly proportional to product of magnitude of two charges and force is inversely proportional to, and which force? Remember, electrostatic force of interaction. Interaction consists of attraction or repulsion. So in general we call it as interaction, is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the two charges. Okay, so now let's see what happens in the next. If we combine these two equations, what we'll obtain? If we combine these two equations, we obtain that the force is equal to K Q1 Q2 by R square, because we combine these two facts together, proportional to Q1 Q2, F proportional to Q1 Q2, or we can say F is directly proportional to Q1 Q2 and F is inversely proportional to R square. It means what? If we combine these two, we can get F is directly proportional to Q1 Q2 divided by R square. To remove the proportionality sign, we always need a constant. So that's why we have placed a constant over here. We have placed a constant over here, that constant is called as K, okay, or denoted as K, small k. F is equal to K Q1 Q2 by R square. This is all about the Coulomb's law and its statement. Okay, what is K? The K is called as proportionality constant, or it is also called as Coulomb's constant. Remember, it is called as proportionality constant or Coulomb's constant. And what is the value of K? K's value is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. This particular denotation is epsilon naught. What is epsilon naught? Epsilon naught means the permittivity of vacuum. Okay, permittivity of vacuum or permittivity of free space. Okay, what is permittivity? Permittivity means to allow the influence of charge. Okay, in if it is written as vacuum, so to allow the influence of charge in vacuum, and if it is medium, then it means to allow the influence of charge in the particular medium. Okay, the value of K is what? The value of K is 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton meter square per Coulomb square. Okay, and the SI unit value of epsilon naught is 8.854 into 10 to the power minus 12 Coulomb square per Newton per meter square. Okay, so these are the values of K, 9 into 10 power 9, and epsilon naught 8.854 into 10 power minus 12 Coulomb square per Newton per meter square. Okay, now according to this theory, like charges repel each other and unlike charges attract each other. We have already studied. This means that the charge of same sign will push each other with repulsive force, while the charges with opposite sign will pull each other with attractive force. Now, next to it. Now, if the charges are in medium, say glass or water, other than air, okay, or vacuum, then the electric force between these two charges will be written as F is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon. This time I am calling it epsilon, okay, because there is no suffix 0 over here, so that's why it is called as epsilon. If it would have been 0 over here, so epsilon naught, so 1 upon 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 by R square. This epsilon is what? Is again a constant, and it is called as permittivity of the particular medium in which the charges are kept or charges are present. So charges can be kept either in air, in free space, vacuum, or any other medium. If the charges are kept in air or vacuum, vacuum means free space, both are same thing, then the constant will be epsilon naught. But if the charges are kept in any other medium, okay, other than vacuum or free space or air, then it is called as epsilon. Okay, permittivity of medium. Since the value of epsilon depends on the medium, the magnitude of force on a charge also depends on the medium. Okay, it's a very important fact, because the value of epsilon becomes epsilon naught when the medium is air, free space, or vacuum. Then that value I already told you, 8.85 into 10 power minus 12. But if the medium is other than air, vacuum, or free space, then its value also changes. So therefore the magnitude of force on a charge also depends on the medium. So value of force and electrostatic force of interaction also changes according to the medium. Clear? Okay, these two note points are here. The direction of the force is along the line joining the two charges. I have already told you it can be inward or outward. We have already discussed, depending on attraction or repulsion force between the charges. Okay, Coulomb's law of electrostatics holds for two or more point charges. Okay, but they must be at rest, remember, because electrostatic force. Okay, so we have studied in this particular video lecture, we have studied about the drawback of quantization of charge and the Coulomb's law. Okay, Coulomb's law for multiple charge system we will study in the successive video lecture. Thanks a lot. Keep on studying. We'll meet in the next video.